I like to correlate deconditioning to an active birth and death process. And I felt like I was in some deep portals of seeing parts of myself that weren't necessarily, I was, we call it the shadow, right? Because you can't see it. I was able to see some parts of myself that felt like I wanted to be in greater alignment with how I was showing up in the world, and my way of being maybe too focused on these masks that we were doing, what everyone thinks about me, how I look, born and raised in Southern California, having so much focus out there, and really wanting to know what that feels like to pull back and be more prioritizing even more my inner world, and having that be what I hold myself with the highest esteem, that my inner world is authentically being communicated. And when I wear these masks, it really cripples me. So these were some awarenesses that I had over this big full moon. And again, if there was some big energies you've been working with in life, as projectors, we do receive the energetics of astrology deeper with our open sacral. We actually are greatly impacted by this. And I'll just say this because it was a awareness that I received. We've talked a lot about this transmutation in 2027, where there's a mutation in the gate 55 in the solar plexus, which is the emotional center. And if you're not a even if you don't have that center, every human on the planet will have this mutation, will move more into our emotional bodies. And what I feel, and I was talking to Charlie, and we both kind of bounce off our projector ideas with each other, is that the energies of that mutation are already slowly coming onto the planet, and that we projectors are going to feel it first. We're going to feel it more. And so this call, the work that we're doing about going into our inner world, is like the prerequisite for us as the guides, that we will be seen in 2027. So we're, I believe, already starting to get little filaments of this mutation, which is why we're all here wanting to learn how to be, more true to ourselves, more true um, to the values of what it means to be a conscious being, what it means to be connected to our emotions, to the inside world. And the rest of the world will be getting that more heavily in 2027. So let's do what we do best, which is take care of our inner world and just all come together collectively with our breath, just bringing our energy, whatever is present. Sometimes I just like to open my palms and allow whatever is here with us with open arms. Just breathing and allowing, saying yes, even if it's uncomfortable or there's pain. See, as we move into more openness, more spaciousness. You like to shrug your shoulders up to your ears and maybe drop your shoulders down, just letting everything be here. Just noticing your mind, as perfect as it is, coming back to your breath. To this present moment. Bringing your attention to the bottoms of your feet. Maybe imagining roots growing down, down, down to the center of the earth, planting you here. Connecting to your sits bone, whatever you are seated on, maybe feeling a weighted blanket, just grounding you, holding you here. Bringing up our attention to our heart space, I invite you to envision a childlike smile, a simple, innocent smile, not to cover over anything, but just reminding ourselves that that's there too. Softening into this space, to the area in which we are here to be the guides for. A deep remembering of who we are and where we want to walk from. This space, the center of our being. And as we move up to the head, I invite you to envision a crown of light being placed on your head. Remembering the divinity within all of us, the essence of creation. Just feel the light pouring into your head, water falling throughout your whole being. And at this time, I invite you to silently set an intention for yourself today, or maybe even an intention for humanity. Collectively, we do this together. Not realizing truly how powerful it is when we set our intentions together. And as we do that, I want to message to each of you just how proud I hope you feel showing up each week, doing this vulnerable work. It's truly all we ever need to be doing at this time. When we're ready, we come back into the space, feeling that transition. Taking some deep breaths. Hoping we all feel a little more connected here, a little bit more present. This can be loaded because we're going to go into the sick mask, the mask that, I can't tell you how many projectors, including myself, I have worn since the moment I was born. I was allergic to my mother's breast milk. I then was allergic to 40 foods. And then I had fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome and fractured my back. And I could go on. My laundry list of sickness has been long. And like I said, I want to just create a cushion here of compassion, and that I'm not, when we go into kind of the beliefs that make up this mask and some of the purpose that this mask can be worn, I don't want it to invalidate anyone who's in a place of sickness right now, thinking that we're doing this to ourselves, that this is our fault. It's not, anything happening is not our fault. We have learned behaviors, or our family systems weren't attuned to our needs. And so these are side effects of not having our needs met, or not knowing how to meet our needs. And it's not just the physical needs, as we're going to discover, it's also our emotional needs. And that's a collective. That's just not a projector thing. Collectively, we don't know how to be with healthy anger. We don't know how to be with anxiety. We don't know how to ultimately inner regulate our emotional landscapes. We've been taught to go outside ourselves. And projectors, again, we're all different, but honestly, I would say most of us by the age of 2, we're already going outside of ourselves. Most of us in the wombs with an open sacral, we're already taking care of the energetics of our mother. We're absorbing her way more. And then when we come out into the world, the energetics of the environment, we're already receiving information. Now we don't need to have a mind, just like an animal doesn't need to logically think when there's danger. When we're feeling unease in the environment, or we're feeling that the level of presence and calmness wasn't met, we're already starting to alter our needs in some way. So fundamentally, at a very young age, we have been putting on masks or trying to get or adopting to an environment that wasn't suited for us. Okay, so I just say that because um, a lot of us in this community could be actively feeling things, and I don't want it to be like this is my fault. But what I want to do is invite us to look at um, when this part of us comes on, what is the need underneath it? That's where the root of our sickness, we can begin to empower ourselves more. So we've been driving as the overachiever, plugging along, plugging along, plugging along, plugging along, and then boom, we hit the brick wall. Or we've been taking care of everyone else, taking care of everyone else, helping, 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 and then all of a sudden we get sick. Sickness is a boundary. Hate to say it, sickness is a boundary. It's also a no. Um, and it's a very easy no. It's way easier to say, I'm sick, than it is to say, no, I don't want to do this today or whatnot. So, and again, just sprinkle in the tenderness and love. Okay.